What is going on, Guardians, and welcome back to another Destiny 2 gameplay video. In this video, I'm going to be highlighting the Crimson exotic hand cannon with the catalyst applied, having it fully masterworked. What happens when you get that catalyst applied is it takes the range stat of the Crimson and bumps it way up, so it's really stable, and it's got, honestly, it has pulse rifle range. And I'll get to that in a little bit. But first and foremost, how do you get the Crimson Catalyst to drop? It drops on any PvE kill. I got mine randomly while farming Escalation Protocol. Mine dropped for me. After you get the Catalyst, you apply it, and then you have to basically farm kills with precision hits. And they don't necessarily have to be headshot kills or precision kills. You just have to get precision hits somewhere in the process of the kill. So interesting nuance there. So basically, I just used the hand cannon for a while while farming heroic strikes and a little bit in PvP in order to grind the catalyst out. And once I masterworked it, it takes that range stat, bumps it way up, and the hit registration is much nicer afterwards. So let's just talk about my impressions overall of this exotic hand cannon once you get that masterwork applied. So it's got a decent time to kill. You're basically looking at 3 bursts and some change. So it does 24 damage to the head and 17 damage to the body when you're in the optimal range without any damage drop off kicking in yet. And with that amount of damage, you're basically looking at potentially 216 damage in 3 bursts, and that's if you're hitting all headshots. So realistically, you're probably looking at 3 bursts and 1 or 2 extra bullets from a 4th burst on average to actually put someone down. You're not normally going to put someone down in 3 bursts. That just doesn't happen very often. And I get to that a little bit later in the video when we talk a little bit about the recoil pattern and the hit registration on this gun. But it's got a pretty decent time to kill, but really the strongest points of the Crimson are its capacity to help you out in scenarios where you have to take on multiple opponents. So one of the things that's really nice about the Crimson is basically the fact that when you get precision kills, it's going to automatically reload the weapon for you without you having to queue up any kind of an animation. You get a little audio cue, it's a clicking sound that lets you know, hey, the gun's reloaded, it's ready to go. You don't have to look down at your ammo counter, you don't have to reload the weapon manually. Those bullets are in there, they're ready to go. Not only will it restore ammo into the mag directly, but it also regenerates your health. So you got that wonderful perk there to make it so that you can string kill after kill after kill, but your health regen can be interrupted anytime you take damage after you get the kill to proc that regeneration of your health. So you're going to want to kind of dip in and out of cover so that when you get your kill with the Crimson, you duck back into cover, let your health regenerate, pop back out. That way your recovery doesn't get interrupted by opponent number 2 or even number 3 while you're trying to string kills together. So it's really a pretty strong hand cannon. It can compete, it can hang in the current meta. It's not as good as a Vigilance Wing, it's not as good as a Graviton, it's not as good as an Antiope in my opinion. In just a straight up one-on-one gunfight, it really shines when you're stringing kills together, sure. But in a 1v1 gunfight, you're probably going to be better off with the Graviton plus Antiope combination, which is what you're going to see most of in the competitive playlist. But that should not be that should not dictate whether or not you use the gun. Primarily, are you having fun when you use it, and is it okay? Is it decent? Can it compete? Can it hang? And the answer to all those questions is yes. It's fun to use, and it can compete. It can hang with some of the better things out there in the sandbox currently in the meta that we are in. It does have a bit of a strange cadence to it. It has a bit of an identity crisis. Sometimes you're using it and you're like, I don't know what this is. Is it a hand cannon? Is it a pulse rifle? It plays out more like a pulse rifle, but without a pulse rifle recoil pattern. It performs like a pulse rifle, but a pulse rifle that has a precision hand cannon recoil pattern. So it's got a bit of an identity crisis. It's a little weird to use, so you definitely have to put some time into using it to get used to the cadence, get used to the landing consecutive hits, because it is a little bit bizarre. So that just comes with time. The more you use the gun, the more you'll get used to it. But just know that going into it, if it feels strange, it's because it is strange. And if it feels uncomfortable at first, it's because it is somewhat of an uncomfortable gun to use initially until you get past that initial learning curve. I feel like I would prefer it if it was even full auto. I feel like that would help me get a better handle on the gun. So yeah, those are just my initial thoughts on sort of my quick take, my fast take on the gun. I think it's a great gun. I think it's really effective. It's not the top end of the meta. It is not meta, but it can hang with the meta, and you can do just fine with it. And I've seen some players use this gun and make some really impressive plays with it, and I've made some impressive plays as well. So I think it will continue to be a part of my arsenal. So I hope this was helpful for you. Hopefully you can get the catalyst to drop. And excited to see players start to use this gun a little bit more in the Crucible. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope to catch you in the Crucible.